What's up YouTube, I'm Major the Barber, and in today's video we're doing the Travis Scott taper fade haircut tutorial. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right on into it. If you guys get lost along the way or you got any questions, make sure you hit me up on Instagram or leave me a comment and I'll be happy to answer any of your guys' questions. Again, I'll be sitting here watching the video with you, coaching you through it, and like I said, yeah, you got questions, just make sure you go ahead and hit me up. You see, the first thing I'm doing right here is I'm just tying up his braids, getting it all out the way so you know I can see exactly what I'm working with. It's always a good investment, invest in some ponytail holders or some clips or anything, just to keep the hair out of you know, the area you're working on. And so first thing I'm gonna do is take my comb. I'm just gonna go in, we're gonna find the direction of his hair growth and just comb his hair down all the way around and get ready to start the fading process. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 1A blade and I'm just gonna do a brush fade to start out with, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna taper the sides and the back. So basically just like a temp taper on the sides and the back. So my 1A, create my first guideline. It's actually a pretty easy haircut. And it's pretty popular, man, with a lot of people that got box braids and things like that on the top or braids or anything. Now I got my 1.5 blade, and I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna start to knock out that first guideline that I created. So you see, I'm not creating like another new hard guideline, I'm really just creating like a weight line, I'd call it. And keeping my blade flush to the head, just knocking out. You see how far I'm going up? I'm probably going up about 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna work this all the way up into the top. So you can see here, I'm about to grab my 2 blade, and with the 2 blade, I'm gonna blend that up into the top, right up to that line. So now I got my 2 blade here, and the rest of this darkness that you see, I'm blending that right into the top. And again, like I said, taking it right up to the top. And then you can always come back and clean up any spots that you see along the way. So I use my 1A, you know, create my guideline, and my 1.5 to knock out that guideline, and then my 2 to blend it into the top. And then along the way, make sure you use your mirror. It's gonna help you find any little spots or anything that you missed. And then you can also use adjustable clippers for this haircut too, and go back in and clean up any spots. I just thought I'd do it with the blades because most new people are learning how to cut hair use a lot of blades, I feel like. So right here, I'm jumping back into my 1.5 blade, and I'm just going in and I'm kind of just picking out spots that I see in the mirror that need to be cleaned up. Same thing on the other side, got my 1A blade. And before I do any tapering, I'm just gonna get this whole brush fade process out of the way. So I brush fade the other side, or the first side, and now I moved on to the right side, and I'm gonna brush fade this side, and then I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna taper the haircut out. So again, 1A blade, cutting against the grain, making that first guideline. Now I'm at my 1.5, and I'm blending out that first guideline that I made. Now you don't have to just do one side at a time. Like if you have a problem with getting haircuts even or anything like that, you can make your guideline all the way around the head. Make sure that's even, you know, with your 1A, and then you can come back with your 1.5 and blend out that 1A line that you created. Now I'm back with my 2 and I'm doing the same thing on this side. I'm taking this all the way up to the top. Another thing with a haircut like this is it's disconnected from the top. So you're really not blending into like an afro or into like what they call like the Duke starting 5 haircut when where you got the hair on top. So you're not really blending into anything. So you can really create that top to be whatever you want since it's disconnected. Again, got my 1.5, came back, just picked out any little spots that I seen along the way. Again, use your mirror. Your mirror's never gonna lie to you. Can't stress that enough. And then also along the way, make sure you're brushing the hair down, combing the hair, dusting off your client. You always wanna work with the clean platform. Again, back in my 2 2 blade. You see I just had that small sliver in the back that I had to blend out, because when I worked this left side, I worked it almost all the way around to the back, and I worked the right side about the same way, so it just left me a small part in the back just to blend out. So now I got my brush fade done. Now I'm gonna get into lining the haircut up and tapering it out. So I'm gonna start in the back, here on the back left side, take my wall detailers, and I'm just gonna line up the back of his neck. And this is really just preference. I don't always line up the back of the neck first. Sometimes I'll taper it out, then line it up. Like I said, I don't know why I did it this way, but I lined it up first and then I tapered it out. Again, just personal preference, you know. You guys, like when you're starting out, you really want to make sure that you get into a routine that you're comfortable with when you're learning how to cut hair, because if you can have a set number, a set steps that you take along the way that you follow, that's going to really help you progress along the way, and it's going to help you stay organized in the haircut. And now I'm taking my detailers and I'm making a hard guideline. You don't have to make this hard guideline. You can use like a 3-0 blade, or you can take your master's closed and make your initial guideline and then go in and blend that out. And then you can always come back at the end and bald it out more with the trimmers. And I'll show you that in another video probably. But this video, made my guideline with my detailers, and now I took my masters, closed them all the way, which is equal to a 3-0 blade, and I'm just gonna start blending it out and I'm gonna work my way up. Now you can see I just moved up, I'm about halfway up now. Keeping the clipper flush to the head, just flicking that line out and just feathering their hair. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. You don't see my client's head bobbling around or anything like that. Like, really soft-handed. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. You start putting a lot of pressure and hitting certain spots that you don't want to hit, and you'll start getting those extra guidelines in there, and that's how you start working that fade up to where you don't want it to be. Again, I got my clippers all the way open, and that's equal to a number 1 blade. So if you wanted to do this whole haircut using your detachable clippers, then you could use, you could create your guideline with the detailers, put the 3-0 blade on, hit that, your OA, blend that other line out, and then put your 1 and blend it into the top, or blend it into the brush fade. So again, I'm not even using any guards in this haircut. For the taper, like I said, I'm working from my detailers, balding it out, and I'm just working my masters up to a number 1. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 1A blade and I'm just gonna trim down the front hairline. You guys seen me do this in previous videos if you watch previous videos, but I don't always trim down the front hairline, but in specific haircuts. For instance, Travis Scott has his front hairline tapered down, and so this helps out to get a lot smoother line compared to having just poofy hair right in the front and you're not being able to get a super crisp line on it. This trimming it down really helps with that. And it's more of a newer style here in the last few years, and so a lot of people come in and ask for their front hairline to be tapered down now. So I always use like a 1 or a 1A, just kind of depending on the hair. So here you got my detailers, and I'm gonna go in. I'm just gonna line up. I'm gonna start on the left side. You can line up the whole haircut if you want first, or you can go and you can do the taper first. But in this particular video, I'm gonna line up the left side, and then I'm gonna taper the left side. Then I'm gonna go to my right side, line up the right side, and then taper the right side. And you see my technique with the lineup, and I will be having a lineup video coming out just specifically towards how to do a lineup. And just give you guys a technical breakdown of that. But from the little bit I do show with the lineup, you see my technique. I'm tapping and pulling away. Again, being real soft with the clippers. Man, these clippers are sharp. All my clippers are pretty sharp. I have pairs that aren't as sharp, but for the most part, let the clipper do the work for you. You don't have to sit there and press into people's heads and start cutting them up and leaving them with scabs and things like that. Also be careful, you get people that have sensitive skin. I got my T-outliners right now. With my T-outliners, I always like to do my curves with the T-outliners. I prefer them over the detailers. So you'll see in a lot of my videos, when I'm working on curves, I'm always using my T-outliners. And again, I started my point at the top, and then I came in a little bit, went to the bottom, made my guide, and I'm just connecting. And now I'm going in with my T-outliners. I'm just making my guideline just like I did in the back of the haircut when I just tapered it. I'm doing the same thing on the side. So I'll take my outliners, I make my initial guideline, and now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna blend this out. I'm using the same exact measurements or blade length as I did in the back taper. Nothing's gonna change. So over here, you can use your details, you can use your T-outliners, whatever you prefer. I just used the T-outliners because I was already working with them. And so there's no secret behind why I made the guideline on the side taper with the T-outliners. And again, I just started with my clippers closed on my masters, and I just start to blend that bottom line out. And I'm just working my way up using the corner of my clippers because I want to keep this taper low. And I'm just gonna slowly work my way up. So when I get to the sides and I wanna have a low taper, I'm probably not gonna go up, from closed to halfway to all the way. I go up a little bit more from closed, and I might just go to that second notch on the master, just barely open it up because I wanna have a lot more levels to get a smooth transition into the brush fade. And I know that might have got a little bit confusing for you guys. So like I said, if you got questions, just ask, man. I'll be happy to explain. Again, just slowly working my clippers open. And I know that one, the highest level, the one is gonna blend into this, into the brush fade because I use a 1A as my guideline. And now just kind of going around the ear, cleaning up the around the ear line. You see I work from the back, come to the front, make a guide there, and I'll come back and I'll just kind of connect them. When you're working around the ears, if you think of it as a clock and you got 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, you can start from 3 o'clock, go up a little bit, start from 9 o'clock, go up a little bit, and then 12, connect it to 9, connect 12 to 3. And that's a good technique. When I teach a lot of people, that's a technique I teach them, and that's something that helps them learn how to get a nice line around the ears. And now I'm on the right side of the haircut, got my detailers back out, and I'm just going through using my same lineup technique. Like I said, in the future I'll do a lineup video tutorial, giving you guys a technical breakdown. But again, pay attention to my technique that I'm using. Like I said, you don't see my client's head bobbling around. You don't see me putting a ton of pressure. I never use a lot of pressure when I cut hair. Everything I do is pretty soft-handed, and that's from everything when I use the razor, when I use my trimmers, or when I use my clippers. As well as detachable or adjustable. I'm always pretty light-handed. Again, on my C cups, making my initial line, coming from the bottom. And like I said, if you guys watch my previous videos, you'll see I talk about this a lot. And then just connecting those lines, and that helps get that nice C curve. And again, I know a lot of barbers that like to use detailers to make the C cups. Like I said, my preference, I prefer to use T-outliners. I just feel like they're more precise. The blades are thinner, and I feel like I get better C-cups when I use the T-outliners compared to the detailers. But again, personal preference. Same thing, made my initial guideline on the right side with the outliners. And now I'm just gonna go in, masters all the way closed. And you see I'm just barely tapping that line, just tapping that line out. And I'm slowly just gonna work my clippers open, working back up into a 1, up into that brush fade. About halfway. Just using the corners of my clippers. So really the last 3 or 4 teeth. When I'm talking about the corners, I'm using the last 3 or 4 teeth on the clipper. Keeping the clipper flush to the head. You see I don't have my clippers angled up at all. They're always flush to the head, and I'm just feathering it out. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really being really light-handed. Also, very important to always pay attention to the direction that the hair grows. That's the way we're going to get that smooth transition, is fading against the grain of the hair. So for instance, on the left side, the hair may grow down, towards the ear. On the right side, the hair may grow back. And that's part when we're combing the hair, we're paying attention to which way the hair grows. Here, I'm going to show you guys the final result of how the haircut turned out. If you got questions, make sure you add me on social media, ask me any questions, leave comments. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in to another haircut tutorial. It's Adrian the Barber, and I'm out. Make sure you guys tune in every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for another Hair Heroes Live video cast right here on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're always updated every time I upload new content. And again, follow me on Instagram, ask me any questions you want. You know, I'm here to help you guys out any way I possibly can. Again, appreciate you guys for tuning in.